Why do some interiors instantly feel expensive even when they're not? What are people doing that secretly makes their space look cheaper? And which design choices actually stay stylish for years, not just for months? Why do some interiors look cheap while others instantly feel luxurious? The difference isn't about how much money is being spent, but about the design decisions behind the space. Most interiors that end up looking cheap tend to follow the same pattern. They're built around trends that are designed to sell quickly, not to last over time. They might look good in the moment, they might even feel a little exciting at first, but very often they lose their appeal just as quickly and quietly start to feel outdated. Spaces that feel expensive, on the other hand, follow a completely different logic. They're built on things that don't age, on materials that feel real, proportions that feel balanced, compositions that feel considered, and details that don't rely on what's currently trending. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 10 design trends that'll consistently make a space look high-end, and more importantly, trends that'll still feel relevant, refined, and well-designed years from now. And before we start, if you enjoy design content that actually helps you make better decisions, not just collect inspiration photos you might never actually implement, consider subscribing and liking this video. It might just save your future interior. Before we jump into the list, there's one thing you need to understand. Expensive interiors don't need to try and impress you. They just feel effortless. Nothing in these spaces is trying too hard to stand out or demand attention, and yet somehow everything works together in a way that feels balanced and complete. That's usually the key difference. So as we go through these trends, I want you to keep one thing in mind. They're not about adding more. They're about choosing better and designing with restraint and purpose. If you've ever tried to apply this in your own space, you probably know how tricky it is to imagine how different materials, colors, and textures will work together before you buy anything. That's exactly where mood boards come in, because instead of guessing, you can visually test combinations and immediately see what feels cohesive and what doesn't. Quick little side note, did you know that mood boards like that are super easy to make with Planner 5D? You can build mood boards by mixing finishes, furniture, colors, and decor in one place, and quickly experiment with different directions until something clicks, which makes the whole process feel a lot more thought out instead of random. If you want to try it yourself, there's a free 7-day pro trial, so you can experiment with mood boards and different styles before making any real decisions. The link's in the description. One of the most common reasons a space feels cheap is actually pretty simple. Everything looks the same. When everything in a room is the same finish, the same weight, the same surface, for example, smooth sofa, smooth cushions, smooth shelves, the eye has nothing to travel between. It reads the whole room at once and just moves on. There's no visual tension to hold your attention, which is exactly what makes it feel flat. What expensive interiors do differently is create contrast through texture on purpose. Soft linen next to a rough-hewn wood table, a matte wall behind a glossy ceramic, a chunky knit throw draped over a sleek sofa. None of these combinations are accidental. They're chosen because the contrast between them is what creates visual interest. The friction between surfaces is what makes you look twice. It works because central contrast gives the eye a reason to move around the room. Rather than reading as one flat surface, the space starts to feel layered and considered, like it was built up over time rather than bought all at once. That sense of richness is something we instinctively read as expensive, even if we can't always say why. A simple way to apply this: aim for at least 3 contrasting textures in one room. Think something soft, something structured, and something with a little sheen or weight. You don't need to match, you need to contrast. Just keep the color palette consistent so the variety in texture reads as intentional layering, not lack of direction. Another thing that quickly makes a space feel cheap is generic decor. Matching sets, random filler items, trendy pieces with no real meaning. Everything might look put together, but the space ends up feeling staged, like a showroom rather than a home. There's no personality, nothing that makes it feel specific or real. What more elevated interiors do differently is they bring in personal elements. Books you actually read, meaningful artwork, travel pieces, vintage finds, things that tell a story instead of just filling space. These details create small moments that feel lived in and specific. And that's exactly why this looks more expensive. because the space feels curated, not copied. High-end interiors often include unique, one-of-a-kind pieces, which add depth and authenticity. When decor has meaning and variation, the space instantly feels more thoughtful and timeless. A simple rule here is to edit, not add. You don't need more decor, you need better choices. Keep only what adds value and group pieces thoughtfully instead of spreading them everywhere. One of the easiest ways to make a space feel a little cheap is poor lighting. Relying on a single overhead light creates a flat, harsh effect that makes the room feel cold and lifeless, especially with cool white bulbs. Everything's evenly lit, but nothing stands out, so the space feels more functional than designed. What more elevated interiors do instead is layer lighting. They combine different sources placed at different heights. For example, ceiling lights, floor and table lamps, and accent lighting. This instantly adds depth and flexibility, and that's what makes it feel more expensive. Layered lighting creates contrast and atmosphere, highlighting textures and materials, and making the space feel warmer and more considered. A simple rule, aim for at least 3 light sources per room. Use warm light, and if possible, add dimmers to control the mood. A common reason a space feels chaotic is the lack of a clear focal point. When nothing stands out, or everything tries to stand out at once, the eye doesn't know where to land. Too many colors, objects, or competing elements create visual noise, and the space ends up feeling cluttered and disorganized. What more elevated interiors do instead is introduce one strong focal point. It could be a bold sofa, a large piece of art, a fireplace, a mirror, or a statement light. Something that immediately draws attention when you enter the room. Everything else is then arranged around it, and that's what makes it feel more expensive. Because the space has structure, there's a clear sense of order and the eye is guided naturally, which makes the room feel more balanced and refined. A simple rule designers follow: one leads, the rest support. Keep surrounding elements more neutral, avoid over-decorating, and use contrast subtly to highlight your main feature. If you're unsure, just ask yourself, what should someone notice when they first walk in? One of the main reasons a space can feel cheap is when the materials look too uniform. Flat surfaces, basic finishes, perfectly identical textures, everything starts to feel generic, almost like it came from the same catalog. There's no depth, no variation, and nothing that really gives the space character. That's the idea behind statement stone. One surface, like a marble countertop, a travertine coffee table, a stone backsplash, becomes the focal point. Not a background detail, but the thing the whole space is quietly organized around. Stone earns that role because no two slabs are the same. The veining, the movement, the variation in tone, it's something you genuinely can't replicate or fake, and that uniqueness is a big part of why it reads as high-end. It brings presence without trying. A good way to approach this is treat stone like a feature, almost like art. Try your best to resist the urge to add more around it. Keep surrounding surfaces calm and neutral so the stone has room to breathe. Use larger pieces over smaller fragments where you can. Scale really matters. And if you can't stretch to a full countertop, even a single stone tray or side table does the job. The key is committing to it as the thing that leads. One of the easiest ways to make a space feel dated is through color. A lot of interiors rely on trendy or overly bold combinations without thinking about how they'll age. Too many colors, mixed undertones, or palettes that follow what's popular right now can quickly make a space feel chaotic and visually overwhelming. What more refined interiors do instead is keep the color palette simple and cohesive. They build everything around a neutral base. Warm whites, beiges, soft grays, earthy tones, and then add just a few subtle accents. This creates a calm foundation that can easily adapt over time without needing a full redesign. And this approach works because it brings visual harmony. Nothing's competing for attention, so the focus naturally shifts to materials, textures, and shapes. That level of restraint creates a sense of confidence, which is exactly what makes it a space that feels more elevated and well-designed. A simple way to apply this: keep your base neutral and introduce variation through texture rather than adding more colors. Stick to consistent undertones, either all warm or all cool. And if you want contrast, keep it subtle, like black accents or deep earthy shades. Most spaces that feel cheap were designed to look their best on day one, and that's the problem. They're built with materials that peak immediately and have nowhere to go from there. Synthetic finishes, glossy laminates, perfectly uniform surfaces, they look fine at first, but they don't age, they just wear out. What more elevated interiors do instead is choose materials that get better with time. Wood develops a patina, linen softens and drapes better, leather takes on a worn quality that actually adds to it. Ceramics pick up tiny marks that make them feel used and loved rather than untouched. These materials don't fight the passage of time, they absorb it, and the space feels richer for it. This works because natural materials have depth. That quality of a space that's clearly been lived in and still looks good is something you genuinely can't fake. It's one of the clearest signals of a well-designed interior because it means the materials were chosen for longevity, not just for how they look in photos. A practical way to approach this, when you're choosing materials, ask yourself how they'll look in 5 years, not just 5 days after delivery. If the answer is they'll probably look worn out, that might be worth rethinking. Real wood, linen, leather, stone, cotton, and ceramics are all materials that reward patience. They're also the ones that you'll still love 5 years from now, which is what makes them worth the investment. A small detail that often makes a huge difference is curtains. Too short, too narrow, or hung right above the window frame. All of this visually cuts the wall and makes the ceiling feel lower. Windows end up looking smaller, and the whole room loses a sense of scale. What more refined interiors do instead is treat curtains as part of the architecture. They're mounted as high as possible, ideally close to the ceiling, and extend all the way down to the floor, sometimes even slightly pooling. This simple shift elongates the walls and frames the windows in a much more elegant way. By drawing the eye upward, the room feels taller, more open, and more balanced, something you'll consistently notice in well-designed, high-end interiors. A good rule to follow is to hang curtain rods about 4 to 8 inches below the ceiling, or even directly at ceiling level, and extend them wider than the window frame. This makes the window appear larger and allows the curtains to fall more naturally. Choose fabrics with a soft drape, like a linen or light velvet, and make sure the panels are wide enough so they don't look stretched. Accent walls can easily go wrong. Random colors, overly bright tones, trendy patterns that don't relate to anything else in the room, or placing them on the wrong wall entirely. Instead of elevating the space, it ends up feeling disconnected, a bit dated, or just visually overwhelming. What higher-end interiors do instead is approach accent walls with purpose. They're used to highlight the natural focal point of the room, the wall your eye is already drawn to, and the finish is usually subtle but impactful. Think textured paint, wood paneling, lime plaster, wallpaper with depth, or even stone. The goal isn't to shout, but to add quiet interest, and this approach adds depth and structure to the space. Instead of acting like decoration, the wall becomes part of the architecture, creating a layered, more thoughtful look. It introduces contrast without clutter and helps define the room in a more refined way. A simple rule here is to treat accent walls as a feature, not an afterthought. Stick to materials or tones that work with the overall palette, avoid anything overly trendy, and keep it to one strong statement. Focusing on texture rather than bold color usually leads to a more timeless result. Plants are one of those things that people either overdo or skip completely. Too many plants scattered around, cheap plastic pots, or obviously fake greenery can quickly make a space feel cluttered and kind of low effort. On the other hand, when there's no greenery at all, the room often feels flat and a bit lifeless. Without a clear approach, plants stop looking purposeful and start looking random. What more refined interiors do instead is focus on quality over quantity. Fewer plants, but larger and more sculptural ones, like monstera, fiddle leaf fig, or olive tree. Place them intentionally next to the sofa, in a corner, by a window, and pair each one with a planter that actually works with the space. Ceramic, stone, or something with texture. Done right, the greenery becomes part of the design, not just filler. This approach works because of scale and simplicity. Larger plants feel more architectural and curated because their organic shapes soften the harder lines of furniture and materials. The contrast adds balance to the space and creates a calmer, more considered atmosphere. A good way to approach this is to think about placement and presentation. Use a mix of heights to create flow without overcrowding, and invest in a planter that actually complements your interior and keeps plants healthy and clean. It makes a bigger difference than people expect. And if you're using faux plants, the more realistic the better. Otherwise, they tend to bring the whole look down. If you're not sure where to start, some reliable options include Monstera, Ficus lyrata, Pothos, Zamacolcus, and olive trees, all of which work well in interiors and have that sculptural elevated look. So if you take one thing from this video, it's this: interiors that feel expensive aren't about doing more. They're about doing things with more care and intention. And it comes down to a few key ideas. Layered textures. Avoid looking flat and mix materials to add depth. Personal accents. Choose meaningful pieces, not generic decor. Lighting. Layer your lighting, don't rely on one source. Focal point. Let one element lead, not everything at once. Statement stone. Use one standout material instead of many average ones. Color scheme. Keep the base neutral and cohesive. Natural materials. Prioritize real textures over synthetic finishes. Curtains. Go high and full length to enhance proportions. Accent walls. Use texture and placement thoughtfully. And greenery. Fewer, larger plants with more impact. There's no single formula for an expensive-looking interior. The spaces that feel the most elevated are the ones that are designed with intention, around how you actually live, not just around what looks good in the moment. So before you start changing things, the better question to ask is, what is my space missing right now? Is it depth? Then focus on textures. Is it atmosphere? Look at your lighting. Does it feel chaotic? Simplify the palette and define a focal point. Because once you get that one thing right, everything else becomes much easier to build around. So if your goal is to make your home feel timeless, design a space that works for you, not one that's trying to follow every trend at once. So now that we're done, I'd love to know which of these trends stood out to you the most, or which one are you already using in your space? Let me know in the comments. If you want to experiment with ideas like mood boards, layouts, or materials before making any real changes, you can try Planner 5D with that free 7-day pro trial. Check the link in the description for more details. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.